HQ to any available units. We have mechs down at Nav Gamma. Bravo Cadet reports 4 summoners on site. Bandits are hostile. Repeat, bandits are hostile.
HQ, this is Alpha Assault. I'm on my way, bearing 025.
ETA 34 seconds.
Alpha Assault, this is Bravo Cadet. I've got bandits all over me. Get down here.
Sit tight, Bravo 3. I've got visual.
I've got evacuators out. I'm targeting systems damage. I'm in bad shape.
Enemy detected.
Behind me, 2 of them. Be on the line.
Roger, I've got it.
Targeting.
It's got a lock on me. It's got a lock on me.
Targeting. Warning. Ammunition level. Critical. Weapon depleted.
Alpha Assault, this is HQ. What is your situation? Alpha Assault, this is HQ. What is your situation? Please comply.
Talk about being blown away by a cutscene.
We are Jade Falcon, great among the clans. We are warriors who fight with the strength of the falcon's claw and ascend to the heavens on the wings of the same. We remember with the clarity of falcon's sight the words of Kerensky. Through the smoke of time he speaks to us, his chosen, and urges us onward with the promise of Eden. We will retake what is ours by right, that shining jewel terror. Not the vastness of space, nor the wolf's obstinate howl will stay us from our righteous goal. We are crusaders and will trample all who stand in our way.
I'm such a Jade Falcon fanboy.
These
You don't even know.
cutscenes.
They're nifty. They need a lot of explanation. That intro cutscene, nothing works like that. That was pure cutscene magic.
Yeah, I imagine with the superimposed explosions and what have you. No, I mean like they're like super off the time, but also very well produced for the time.
Yeah. I'm actually always kind of surprised. I mean, it was Activision, and Activision was pretty, big even then. But I'm always surprised that they managed to get this much money behind this concept. But it is of the time, because this is just a very nerdy thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this game started out as a tabletop figurines style game with the old rule book and everything like that, called BattleTech, and then became a series of Vidra games. And I'll explain stuff as we go along. There's plenty of time where I'm just walking, but let's let this guy do some acting for us.
Okay, Toad. Follow me to Nav Alpha on the gunnery range. It is time to see how you handle a mech weapons system. Keep your shots...
He called us a toad!
And do not even think of making a mistake. You have live rounds in that mech.
I think-
These 1994 3D graphics.
Yeah, that's one thing I'll talk about more when we have less time that's going to be filled by a guy yelling at us.
Mm-hmm.
But
It looks
I will
like
say-
he's walking in the air.
Proceed
That's,
to Nav Beta. Shoot the stationary target, scrub.
Scrub.
I just love the voice acting so much. It's like, it's not even that terrible, like it's as good as I would do, but like for a
Approach
game...
the targets if you find them difficult to hit. Your secret is safe with me. I will not tell a soul of your incompetence. Trust me.
Senpai is
Wow.
going to keep our
You may
secrets.
find the optical magnification function useful. The Z button on the left of the cockpit increases the value of the zoom. Shift Z decreases the value.
And yes, he's just talking about the keyboard.
The Z button. Because
And Shift Z.
I mean, I
but-
imagine with how complex the controls are for these.
Oh yeah.
Free birth. Now go to Nav Gamma and
Oh, he
shoot
called
the
us a
moving
free birth.
targets.
I'll explain that later. But yes, he also warned us about the fact that we have live rounds, so don't think about making a mistake. I think that he's worried that we're going to kill him, even though if you know what these mechs are and you know what kind of rounds we have, that's a very laughable concept. Also, I missed everything, but this was when I was still playing with the mouse, so forgive me. The mouse and keyboard only.
The next part you've upgraded to.
Oh, don't worry about that. That was just things breaking for a second.
Let's not worry about that.
I feel no guilt about playing this game in a virtualized setting because I own 3 copies of it.
Yeah, and on top of that, it is actually a lot more effort to do it this way than to actually get an old computer and connect.
Well, yeah, but then I'd have to get in. I don't know. This was kind of a fun project for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't target these. That's what I was trying to do right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say like because this game lacks any sort of like depth perception is a little bit
Yes.
a little bit of a suggestion because how nothing has shadows or there is no sort of like nothing's textured, so it's hard to say whether or not something is farther away from you or not.
Yeah. So, this is where we're supposed to. I don't know. I feel like we were talking over him saying something.
No, we weren't.
No, he didn't give me a prompt, and I hit a target before I was supposed to, so I failed the mission. Yay, video games!
I will have to fix this one.
That's fine. It's a little bit hard to handle all of this, you know. But
Now we're off to the recon identification course, but first
Yeah,
meet me
I
at
just-
Nav Alpha. On the course, you will learn to identify critical targets under fire. There are
Oh.
multiple structures on the course. One contains hip actuators. To target likely structures, put your reticle over the structure in question and hit Q. Approach the targeted structure and hit I to inspect its contents.
and the
And it
contents of my
shows you the
instructor
wireframe in the corner.
Yeah, that's the targeting mechanism. It shows you the wireframe, and then it'll show you damage information about each little bit.
That's actually really neat. The way they
Yes,
did it.
actually, you can go into wireframe
Almost
view.
forgot. Those turrets on the
I
course
think
are
you do
active.
that at a
The
certain
chance
point,
of your
yes.
death, however, is
Oh,
relatively
yeah.
slim.
The chance of our death is slim, so that's good.
I do.
We have no weapons, so
I do love how.
It's time to familiarize yourself with the location of the C key, the toggle to the external camera, and the F3 keys, the toggle to the satellite uplink.
External
Oh.
engaged. Satellite
this game has a lot in it.
external
Some of it
camera
useful,
engaged.
some of it not, and some of it just cool ideas that they came up with when they were designing it that they didn't want to let go. This whole
Mhm.
inspection thing is kind of that way.
Kind
it's a
of
way-
worthless.
It's a way for them to make it so that you have to approach things. That's what they wanted. They wanted to say, you have to get within 200 meters of this for a reasonable reason. So I think it's 200.
Yeah, and
Maybe 225.
and all
2,
things considered,
Yeah.
since this was like, I keep saying, I'm assuming this was 1994.
Yes.
Being
believe
able
so.
to see the wireframe of everything that you look at is really cool.
Established.
Yeah, no, it's when we get into it, you'll see how kind of simplistic things are. But
Mhm.
that's fine because just piloting a mech is incredibly difficult, which you aren't really seeing from this.
Mhm.
But I was trying to figure out what the pattern is. Anyway, But no, there's a bunch of very neat technical things, some of which are useful, some of which aren't. And for some reason, they decided this was too boring if you just walked up to things and pressed I a bunch, because that's what you do. Is at some point on the series, you should show the full set of commands,
Engaged.
just so that people can get an appreciation for how complicated this is.
Autopilot.
But
there we go.
yeah, there you go.
Image
There's a wireframe.
enhancement. Engaged.
And it actually has a reason for existing, like,
Amplification. Engaged.
flavor-wise. And that was a sound of a critical hit.
You can
And
actually
now I'm
get...
forgetting how to exit all of these different modes because I turned them on just by kind of mashing my keyboard, and now I don't know how to get out of them.
Autopilot. Engaged. Autopilot. Disabled.
Yeah, I can see how this could be useful, since you can actually see certain things in the environment way easier when it's wireframe.
Yes.
Enhancement.
Yes.
Engaged.
Like, for example, there is no way you can actually see those turrets unless you turn on the wireframe.
External camera.
Well,
Engaged.
so this game came out during the age of 3D accelerators. So before graphics cards had just a standardized DirectX or other feed into them,
Mm-hmm.
where if you wanted to make a game that had
Describe
decent
to me
3D.
your malaise, cadet. What ails you? Something must be very wrong with you to choose to face my displeasure rather than simply completing the course. Get back in there, scrub, before I ventilate your neuro helmet.
God, you scrub. Why are you still walking backwards?
I just
Okay.
hope that Senpai will notice me. Anyway,
Satellite link.
I was gonna say, so that everything had to be written
Engaged.
specifically for whatever graphics card you were going to be
Mhm.
using. So when I played this game for the first time, I played it on a Toshiba graphics card. Also, I'm going to die in a second, I think, but that's fine. I'm just showing things. I played it on a Toshiba graphics card, and it looked just mind-blowing for the time. Hooray! I died.
I'm so glad that they don't make you repeat every single one of these missions.
Oh,
You just-
trainings are... every single training is optional. I was just
okay.
showing things off here.
This is a call to trial. You are to engage in a trial of position for the rank of MechWarrior. Okay, cadet. Go to Nav Alpha. This time you are on your own. You are to engage a MechWarrior in the field. If you are victorious, so be it. The clan will be bettered by having a new, competent MechWarrior. If you are not, the death of the incompetent is the death of a feeble progeny and a testament to our glorious method.
Wow.
Autopilot. Engaged.
So we better succeed.
What I was gonna say is because this game uses a 3D acceleration card, it violently switches resolutions all the whole time. You don't see the. You're not gonna see this because I'm gonna edit it, hopefully. But there are like this game operates at like 3 different resolutions, and I mean vastly different.
And 4 if you count, I think there's one thing that's in a 4th. Like one random screen, I forget which one.
Yes,
in the
we've
4th
seen it, and I didn't edit it because it was already like it was in the middle of the screen. In a black window, so it was technically in a correct resolution. It didn't show the Windows window,
Right.
so I was
right.
like, yeah, fuck it.
But there's a whole bunch of stuff that they're saying, which is giving flavor and universe background, and we'll get into that a little bit more during other periods where we're walking around like this. But just to finish the 3D accelerator thing, it looks so much. I've sent you that comparison video. The guy who compiled that actually preferred the this version, and there are some effects that are only in this version, such as there's a night to day and day to night transition.
Ooh,
But it's not actually based on the clock. It's based on things that are progressing in the mission. But they have like that sort of effect.
oh, nice.
And that's not the 3D accelerated version. But the 3D accelerated version looks so much better in every other way. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I just the explosions and everything. So what I did was I got a lock on him with missiles, and then I bent the missiles around the building so I could get a first shot off on him.
But yeah, what I was gonna say, the resolutions not only are different in terms of, well, one of them is 640 on 480, which is only possible thanks to the acceleration card
Shutdown sequence
/ acceleration mode. The other resolution is
shutting down. Autopilot disabled.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
the other resolution is something like 320 on 240. So like 240p, which is kind of what standard
Look at that
3D
go.
games were without the acceleration card.
You have fought well. Report to training command for posting. Oh, and congratulations, MechWarrior.
Autopilot.
And then there was the third
MechWarrior's
resolution, which is like 320 on 200, which was only which was a specific DOS thing, and it was in this game it was used for cutscenes. It's actually supposed to be in 4:3, but it's not. It's more like a widescreen resolution, so I had to readjust those separately.
I just want to point out, in the bottom right, I have my weapon cam. Supposedly you have a camera that can follow the weapon that you're shooting,
Oh,
and then I'm switching the full display to that. I
so
don't
it's
know
like,
why your missiles would have cameras on them that you could see a video feed from, but they do.
I assume this is just like a satellite view.
Satellite
Nope.
link established.
Following the
Satellite link
camera.
is like this. You're actually like on top of one of your missiles when you fire them and you use that camera. But also, look at the satellite view. You can see the little missiles. It's neat. And the lasers.
Oh, so you can kind of play it like a twin-stick shooter, but a lot more complicated.
Yeah.
Critical. Shutdown sequence initiated. Shutdown sequence
Also,
overridden.
this lady who's doing her best AI voice
Mhm.
is my waifu. I found my
mean-
waifu. I've been looking all my
mean,
life for my waifu.
External camera engaged.
She could only be better if she was speaking in space British.
Oh my gosh. Huh,
You know-
getting me hot and bothered over here.
You know, the British that you hear in all of the AI computers,
Mm-hmm.
in all of the sci-fi things.
Yep.
Ever.
That's but you know, I like I'm from America and I'm freedom loving, so the American accent doesn't bug me.
Yeah.
Mission.
But yeah, the autopilot
successful.
does a really good job of docking, which is nice. And that is the training missions. I'll explain more later, but for right now, I was just gonna let us enjoy this beepy boopy spooky song.
Mm.
Wait for it. About to get some synth in here. Oh my gosh. Hit 2 keys at once. 3 keys. Ow. Kind of feels like your cat is just slowly walking across the keyboard.
Yes.
And you've got one of those Casio keyboards with the auto beats, and you just hit that button.
Mm-hmm. And just let the cat go.
But no, like I said, we'll I didn't even talk about like any of my things. So
Well, I mean,
We'll
we were
get there.
talking about how much of a technical conundrum the recording is, and
the game is really, if you think about it, making this game was probably very complicated too.
playing it nowadays is a little bit complicated as well.